Hello everyone, it's Jamarl Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. Let me check my volume. Guys, the last video was ended on purpose. It wasn't a internet thing. I ended that video with the ominous image of an African slave being sold. That was kind of the point. But not everybody knows your points as you do your points, so fair enough. For those of you who don't know, channel demonetized, link in the description box, alternate super chat. Ocasio-Cortez is getting heat from all sorts of sides. Now, mainly because she's become this kind of new heavyweight, or this new, you could say, star within the Democratic Party, her new socialist, our new favorite socialist. I've given her heat on the question of the Palestinian question. Other people have hit her on that exact same question from the opposite direction. I think she's gotten to the point where it's like, I need to keep my mouth shut unless there's something I specifically want to say. This is going to be, I would imagine, this is new. She's a person, and she's feeling her way in these political waves. Here's the catch. When she gets the opportunity to talk about stuff that she wants to talk about, she knocks it out the park. And this is why I personally like her. Usually, this is why I like her. When it's within the stuff within her platform, she's on it. There was a video where Cal was on Fox News, and they asked Cal to essentially answer. They hit him in the knees, wanting him to respond to something that I think her name was Cori Bush. Horrible answer that Cori Bush gave. An extraordinarily horrible answer. You're a lefty, and they're asking you stuff about taxes and how you're going to pay for it and everything else. And running, she was completely flat-footed. Completely flat-footed. It wasn't that she was completely wrong in the interview, but the interviewer was exposing the fact that she didn't know that stuff, which made it look bad. Which is kind of, I think, the thing I dinged, what's her name for on the subject of Palestine. Her freezing came across as, what am I supposed to say? She has an answer. I believe that her answer on the subject of Palestine is similar to my own. She just didn't want to say that, which is why I dinged her. That said, get her in her sandbox and get her in the area she wants to talk, and she knocks it out of the park. There are going to be answers or questions that lefties, especially people who call themselves a socialist, are going to be asked. And you need to have an answer, and you need to be able to knock it out the park. And I have such an interview with Cuomo where she does indeed knocks it out of the park. I love this interview. She has done an amazing job with this interview. So I give her all the credit in the world on this. I'm going to show this within my Twitter thing because... Actually, I have a better idea. Let's try this. Come on, what's wrong? Alright, I have a better idea. Alright. So, I am going to lower myself. I'm going to expose this. I'm going to drop myself down. I'm doing this because I don't want it to get flagged as if I am copying videos. This is how we have to live. This bootleg lifestyle. So let's keep going. Let's do it.
So first of all,
proposals that you and Bernie and others have, Medicare for all, college tuition, maybe even housing, that the Green New Deal that you have, it is all very expensive, especially on the single payer side, and that it gives people sticker shock. Even in Bernie's home state, they got sticker shock. They couldn't get it done in his state because of how expensive it is. And that was an 11% increase in taxes, 9 to 11%. Even that was too much for people. How do you pay? How do you sell it?
So first of all, the thing that we need to realize is people talk about the sticker shock of Medicare for all. They do not talk about the sticker shock of the cost of our existing system. You know, in a Koch brothers funded study, if any study is going to try to be a little bit slanted, it would be one funded by the Koch brothers. It shows that Medicare for all is actually much cheaper than the current system that we pay right now. And let's not forget that the reason that the Supreme Court upheld the Affordable Care Act is because they ruled that each of these monthly payments that everyday Americans make is a tax. And so while it may not seem like we pay that tax on April 15th, we pay it every single month, or we do pay it tax season if we don't buy, these plans off of the exchange. So we're paying for this system. We Americans have the sticker shock of healthcare as it is. And what we're also not talking about is why aren't we incorporating the cost of all the funeral expenses of those who die because they can't afford access to healthcare? That is part of the cost of our system. Why don't we talk about the cost of reduced productivity because of people who need to go on disability, because of people who are not able to participate in our economy because they're having issues like diabetes or they don't have access to the healthcare that they need. I think at the end of the day, we see that this is not a pipe dream. Every other developed nation in the world does this. Why can't America? And that is the question that we need to ask. We have done these things before. We write unlimited blank checks for war. We just wrote a $2 trillion check for that tax cut, the GOP tax cut, and nobody asked those folks how are they going to pay for it. So my question is, why is it that our pockets are only empty when it comes to education and healthcare for our kids? Why are our pockets only empty when we talk about 100% renewable energy that is going to save this planet and allow our children to thrive? We only have empty pockets when it comes to the morally right things to do. But when it comes to tax cuts for billionaires and when it comes to unlimited war, we seem to be able to invent that money very easily. And to me, it belies a lack of moral priorities that people have right now, especially the Republican Party.
Well, and that's why there are elections. They have consequences. You will make your argument, and we'll see if the people like it better than the other side, because there is a stark difference.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I have no complaints with that answer. That answer is awesome. Beautifully crafted. Other countries can do it. Why can't we? And not just that, this even adding, and if that is not enough for you, what about the moral choice in this particular contest, or what we're talking about? I love that. That's an awesome answer. Now, this is the difference between having somebody who would make that argument, who would make this argument on economic grounds and on moral grounds, versus a party that would not. This is somebody who's an advocate as opposed to somebody who's not. So I have no complaints with that answer at all. I'm not even going to keep this. I'm going to leave it at that. Here's the thing. When somebody asks a skeptical question like that, it is an opportunity. I understand the questions like that are hitting you in the knees to some degree, but he's asking that question in some degree because that's their thinking. That's the way they think. How are they going to pay for it? To us, it's a lunatic question. It's a ridiculous question. We pay military. We're paying $717 billion. Nobody cared. Nobody thought one iota to say how we were going to pay for it. They just did it. Heartbeat. Overnight. The tax cut. They just did it. It put all that debt on the backs of the public. They just did it. It did not stop them one iota. Hey, let's pay for school. Ugh. I don't know how we're going to pay for that. That sounds kind of pricey. What about healthcare? What about making sure people aren't sick and ill? And even if you don't have a dime to your name, even if you're dirt poor, homeless, living in a sewer with rats, that you can walk into a hospital and you'll be taken care of as if you were anybody else and not get a bill. No bill at the point of service. Yeah, I love that. I think she knocked that out of the park. And my point is, when you're given situations like that, those are times to knock it out the park. Because I guarantee you, people are going to look at those answers. They're going to say, what was the question? Meaning, the move itself, the move. And what was the counter move? What was the counter punch? What was the thing that she said? Did she duck? Did she dodge? Did she get hit and take it on the chin? Or did she knock that shit out the park? There are opportunities. The harder they swing, the more of an opportunity. Yes, it is more of a chance. The harder they swing, hit you in the knees, and But it's also dependent upon whether or not you've upped your game. An opportunity to knock it out of the park. I like that answer. I really like that answer. As Jimmy Dore says, how can I afford a cheaper car payment? Bam! Mic drop. Feminist News Network. Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. She talks a very good game. Cuomo can't even interrupt. Elephants on coke. I got the feeling he didn't want to interrupt. Maybe it was me. I didn't feel spite on his part. I didn't feel spite. And when I'm saying I didn't feel spite, I know it's like, it's like the receptor neurons in your head receiving whatever from the other person, picking up on those small cues. I didn't get that from Cuomo. I got from Cuomo, this is going to make great TV. That's what if you look at Cuomo's face, Cuomo's just standing there with a perfect face, just looking at the camera, a perfect newsman's face. He's not flinching when it's just staring in the camera. I wonder, do they practice that face? I've always wondered that. Do Jake Tapper get up in the morning and practice for like 10 minutes of just looking in the mirror for 10 minutes, unflinching as they ask questions? I didn't get the feeling of spite. It felt like this is a question people are going to ask. I'm asking it. And she responds, and he just takes the response. He's the one who tweeted this out. I'm pretty sure he tweeted this out because he realized that was a good answer. That was a really good answer. I like that answer. Now, if he would have sensed any weakness on her part, he would have hit her. He would have hit her. If she started, backpedaling or something like that, or, blah, 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 blah. Well, blah, 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 blah. He would have interrupted. She was awesome in this answer. Short, concise, to the point. Hits on this thing of, we can spend this much money killing people. Why can't we spend this much money making sure we're taken care of? A collective decision by the 99%. We're a democratic government. Absolutely, aren't we? We're supposed to be a democratic country. We have choice. We have freedom of choice. And in that freedom of choice, we, as a collective, can come together and say we're going to make sure each of us are taken care of. At least of my brethren. So yeah. Have you heard of ABL? I came up on this channel this evening. He reminded me of a conservative you. Oh, really? That's funny. That's funny. Cuomo was born with that face. Truly. I don't mean it, and by the way, I don't mean it in a bad way at all. I just mean like he's just staring in the camera for 10 minutes. It's like, how do you not blink for all the time? A tapper face. Yeah, a tapper face. I like that. Tapper face. They totally practice that face. I think they practice that face, Stephen Carl. I really think they do. Yeah, I really think they do. I really hope the best for me too. Talking about single payer tuition freak education. Yes, I don't trust her, or I don't trust any politician. Just get the shit done, and let's keep. Yeah. Let's keep it on media. Agreed. I don't mean it in a bad way either. Yeah, I don't think you mean it in a bad way. I just meant, like, it could sound bad. It could sound like I'm ragging on the guy's face, and there's nothing wrong with his face. It's just a newsman's face. It's like they practice those faces. He's not handsome or ugly. He's just a flawless, symmetrical face. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Elephants One Coke. You perfectly described what I was trying to encapsulate in words, but I could not get my hand around those words. That's exactly what it is. Not bad looking, not necessarily good looking, just a perfectly symmetrical face. It's a newsman's face. It's coming up Saturday. All right, so Cornelia Ng's election is coming up this Saturday. Ocasio-Cortez just visited Hawaii to support him. Good. I like him. I think Cuomo likes, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He talks about having her back for single issues. That's what I mean. It didn't seem like it came across as I'm content with her answer. I'm not going to show joy or distrust or disdain. I'm not going to show anything. I'm going to be a placid man. And I'm just going to stare at it as a placid man because I don't want to betray anything that's going on inside of me because I'm a placid newsman. That said, kind of like in the Star Trek episodes where you knew Spock was smiling on the inside, it looked like Cuomo was smiling on the inside. So, I could be wrong. A news face, right? I could be wrong. All right, I'm going to end this. Yeah, I'm butchering his name. What is Cornelia Ng's? Did you say placid or placid? Placid. Flaccid newsman. I didn't say flaccid. I said placid. Just calm. Oh, Caniella. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Justin. Caniella Ings. I thought he said flaccid. No. Placid. I said placid. All right, I'm gonna end this because we were out there just messing around. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks, guys. And we're